All right, we've reached that time to preview myself or business. I am the champion, but obviously when week one starts, it's now defending the championship. What do you think, Sean?
Oh, I thought it ended when the draft happened. I'm not. You're not the champion no more to me. That was last year. As soon as the draft happened, you're done. You're no more. Looking at your record last year, you went 9-6. You're the LOC champion just because you traded for Josh Allen. You're 56-37, which is pretty good. I think that's in the top 5, at least 6, ranked percentage wise. Obviously, last year you're the LOC champion. We just talked about that.
Yeah, totally. I've had a good career in the LOC. I had one bad year. I think I finished literally 19th. So similar to like True North last year, right? But other than that, I've always been in contention for the playoffs. And it just felt good to actually really be the champion, just to shut my brother up, because I was so sick of hearing him say, "Oh, your name's not on the block, is it?" Blah, blah, blah. So I'm just so glad to shut him up finally.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's always good to shut him up. I like to shut him up because he's like, "Oh, you change your name every other season." And then it's like, dude, you change your name too. Shut up. Going back to you, you do have Josh Allen and Carson Wentz, who we just talked about. Yeah, looking at your running back room, you got Chubb, Davis, Edmonds, Gurley, Peterson, a couple guys, 3 guys, and Duke Johnson, who are all free agents there. You have Antonio Brown, Jackson, Cobb, Humphreys, People Jones. Tight ends are Waller and Croft. I'm to say Croft's your best tight end there. Your defense, you're pretty good. You only have 2 DLs, so I don't know what you're going to do on buys there, but your team's not too bad. I actually have you ranked. Where do I have you ranked for IDPs? I have you at 5th for IDPs.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, for me, when I look at my team, the reality is, we talked about this a little bit with Deuce Bombers preview, with Delvin Cook being one running back who could literally put up more points than 3 starters on another team. And when I look at my team, Josh Allen can win me games. He can put up 45. He won me the championship.
Mm-hmm.
Let's face it.
He didn't just win you the championship. He beat me so you can go to the championship.
Exactly. Darren Waller, another guy at the tight end position, if you look at the points, put up so much more than anyone at that position, right? So to me, I like having those top players in the position groups. I think my team has decent depth, but like any other team, a couple of key injuries and I'd be finished.
Yep. Yeah. Looking at your roster, I have you the number 1 quarterback room just because Josh Allen. And as most people know, I am actually a fan of Wentz. I have you the 7th best running back room, but I have you the 20th at 20 for wide receiver. I have you at 4 for tight end. I have you at 17 for flex as well, just because, you're not, unless Gurley or Peterson or Johnson get picked up, you're going to be starting some running wide receivers in your flex and your IDPs. I said you have you at 5.
Wow, that's crazy. I'm surprised you have my wide receiver room that low. I mean, I know I didn't have a wide receiver as a keeper, but we'll get into it here when we look at the draft grade. So if you noticed, when I drafted this year, I gave myself a B+, but if you notice, because I didn't have a wide receiver at keeper and I had no round 2 and no round 4, I drafted 5 straight wide receivers.
I call that out as well. You have your first 5 picks are wide receivers.
Yeah, I needed that depth, right? I needed it.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I'm just not a fan of Deshaun Jackson. I think he's a bum. As my first name is in the league was sorry, D Jackson, you ain't for real. And I still think that is true. I mean, you got Antonio Brown. He's your best wide receiver. Maybe Peoples-Jones steps up for you, but still, I mean, it's not better than, somebody like me who has Cooper, Moore. You don't have that number 1 wide receiver, in my opinion, on the team.
Yeah, I get that. But, here's the thing. I draft to win, right? So if I drafted AB. Let's face it, the guy's not a keeper. And I could have got Jamar after, right? But the thing is, I want to win. And AB's more points than Elijah Moore, right? And then I look at, here was my theory with the wide receivers. Deshaun Jackson, Rams, going to have a great offense.
True.
Randall Cobb, Aaron Rodgers' buddy. Packers have always a great offense, right? Donovan Jones, I just read, he has the number 3 job over Hollywood Higgins now. So all those targets that were going to Hollywood Higgins before, and let's face it, Odell could go down. Peoples-Jones can have a pretty big year, right? So I'm feeling good about the team. And, I wasn't too upset with any of my picks, to be honest. Maybe Randall Cobb, because I could have got McCole Hardman and Boston Scott after, but that's why I gave myself the B+.
I gave you a B+ too. I mean, I agree with you. To me, there's one position that you have to get the best running backs, or your running back room suffers. However, IDPs, wide receivers, you might have Hopkins or Adams, but the two tier 2 and tier 3 guys they're not scoring that many points less than the tier 1 guys. They might score 2 to 5 points less. So if you have decent wide receivers, I'm not saying your wide receivers are bad. There's just 19 other teams I'd rather have before yours, but it doesn't mean that you're not going to win. And if we kind of look at your rankings here, you have yourself going 9-4. I have you going 8-5. I'm not saying your wide receiver room is going to hurt you that much. I think it's still going to win you games. It's just not the players I would have picked in that position.
Yeah, fair enough. And, I think about the wide receivers. We made fun of BC Lions. I think he picked like Brashad Perryman or someone off Detroit, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather have Randall Cobb, even if he's the third option in Green Bay, because I know Rodgers is going to throw for 5 touchdowns. Jared Goff's likely throwing for 3 picks, right? So,
yeah, true.
The other side of the coin here, looking at my record, I have myself having a real hot start. I have myself, starting off with a good winning streak, and then I run into, some difficult competition there in the middle that I think is going to cause some challenges. But I do think as long as I can stay healthy, like any other team, I will make the playoffs again this year.
Yeah, I have you going 4-1, 7-3, and then obviously 8-5. So you can do the math there.
Right on.
All right, well, that's you. We'll step aside and we'll come back later.